back at the fencing project, and today we're going to put up a H post. So it's two posts with a bar across. It forms the look of an H, and that's to pull on and to pull against when you're pulling wire fence. And I'm talking like sheep and goat fence or welded wire fence, something like that. So I'm going to be pulling from the H post down here on the what we looked at the last time, where we were putting the T posts in. So we've got all those T posts in on this line, and now I'm going to put an H post right up here, and so we're only going to pull from that H post to this H post with the fence. So then later, on a later project, when we have more time to do it, we're going to finish the rest of this run with the rest of the fence along this line here. But for today, we're going to put these H posts in. Hopefully, I'm going to do this by myself. I only have post hole diggers. I don't have an auger, a power auger, or anything like that. So I'm going to put that in here, and then if we have enough time today, we'll pull the fence from that other H post to this H post, and then we'll get this line of fence here. It's probably about 100 feet or so. We'll get that installed, because remember, our project here is to build this pen for the baby pigs that are coming, the Idaho pasture pigs. We've got 2 gelts that are going to be coming, and they're going to go in this area, and they're going to be here in about 2 weeks. So I got to get this finished, then we can put up the hog panels for the rest of their pen. But right now, we're going to put this H post in. Sweaty shirt, that's the way it is on this channel. You're going to see a lot of me sweating, and I hope that's okay. If it's not, I'm sure there's other people out there on YouTube that aren't sweaters, but if I'm outside and it's sweaty, it's hot, I'm going to be sweating. And even if it's not, I'm going to be sweating. Anyway, that was a lot of work digging that hole. So we've got a lot of red clay here in Georgia, and that's the way it is. So I'm going to put this fence post in this hole. I dug the hole about 2.5 feet deep. It's an 8-foot post. That should give me 5.5 feet out. Fence is only 4 feet tall, so that's fine. But I want to get it good and stable in the ground. So then what I'll do is I'll measure between this post and the next one, and we need the inside dimensions of those posts from inside of that post to inside of that post to be 8 feet long, because that's how long our cross beam post is. If you want to do it closer, you can just cut the beam off or cut the post off, and that'll be fine too. And then I'll show you how that works. We're going to put in some spikes on either end to hold it in, and then we'll wire it up to make sure it's really good and stable, and that H isn't going to go anywhere for a long time. That'll give us a good stable place to nail our fence to, from down there to up here, and then again, once we do it, from here to the next one. We may go all the way to the corner of the property from this H post. So I'm going to go ahead and sink this, put the next one in, and you'll see what I'm doing here. right, it is definitely hot out here. My wife just asked me a minute ago, she saw me and said, is it raining out there? I said, no, it's raining from the inside out. This is just perspiration. So I've got that hole dug, but before I sink that post and solidify that dirt around that post, I'm gonna make sure I get a good measurement from this post to that post on the inside. So it's gonna go from the inside of this post to the inside of that post. I want it to be 8 feet so I can put that cross brace up here and be able to tie that together. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a regular fence post. I'm going to go in a little bit higher than halfway, a little higher than halfway, right here, kind of where my cross brace is going to be. I'm just going to put a little staple. Just put that staple in there temporarily. And I'm going to put that there so that I can hook my tape measure to it, have something to hold steady. And then I'm going to pull over here, make sure that I'm about 8 feet. If I'm not, I can cut the post off. That's fine. I just don't want to be too long. And then I'm going to tamp that dirt in to make sure that it's good and solid. You can see when I hit this post with that hammer, that thing is not going anywhere. This Georgia clay is real solid, holds posts real well. It's even been dry. It hadn't rained here in over 2 weeks. It's dry as a bone. But it's supposed to rain in the next couple of days, and it'll really go in there and compact that soil and hold these posts in really well. So when we pull against them with the fence, it'll hold really, really well. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to measure this, make sure we're going to put this post in right where I want it, and you'll see what we're doing. Okay, so we've got our post solid in the ground. Shouldn't move. Hopefully it'll move a little bit because we're going to need to squeeze that cross brace in here. So I brought my cross brace in. I'm going to use that same staple as an extra set of hands to hold this in as I put this end in. Once I get it level, I've got my level down here on the ground. Once I get this level, then I'm going to use some 8-inch spikes to drive in from the outside of each post into the end of my cross brace here. All right, so let's do that. It doesn't have to be perfectly level or anything like that. You just want it to be pretty close. Maybe hitting a spot on the this post that it curves a little bit and it's not going to let it down any further. We want to make sure that we're in the center of the post as well, because we're going to drive that stake right through it. All right, that looks like it's going to be about as good as I can get it. So I've got these galvanized dipped 8-inch spikes from Home Depot, no big deal. They're going to go right through here, and so it's going to drive in to this probably about 4 inches or so, 3 inches. We're going to do that on both ends. There we go. Close to breaking through. Yeah, there we go. I'll finish that off on the other end once I get the other end in. All right. Woo! Got a little winded there. So this is good and in. Now, what we're going to do is take some wire, just regular electric fence wire, single strand electric fence wire. There are other videos on YouTube that'll show you how to do this, but we're going to tape it or take it and do a diagonal across here and really pull this together using that wire. And this thing not going to come apart, not going to go anywhere. This thing will be here literally for probably at least 50 years, a lot longer than I will be. Anyway, be right back. Let me get the wire and we'll get this going. right, well, that'll do getting that H brace put together today. So we put in the 2 fence posts on the other end, put the cross brace across there, and then we used the 12 gauge wire. I said earlier I said 17. I was wrong. I looked it up again, and because I've only done this a handful of times, and it's been a while since I've done it, but you need at least 12 gauge wire, possibly 10, to do it. I found some 12 gauge wire at Tractor Supply, so got a 100-foot roll of that, and that'll allow me enough wire to do 2 of these H braces. So we got that in. I'm not going to talk about the whole process of that, because you could probably see that on any other video, on other videos on YouTube. So anyway, so we got that done today. So now the next step is to put our fence from the H brace that's down there near that hay feeder, and then run our fence, pull it up this way, and attach it to this, attach it to all those T-posts along that line there, and then we'll put in our hog panels, and we'll start in earnest about putting this hog pen together. So some of you are probably wondering, why are you putting fence up if you're going to put hog panels up there? Well, the fence is, again, the property line, and I want that to be a decent looking fence that'll last many, many years. The hog panels may or may not stay here. This is our first foray into hogs. This may or may not be the best place for them, so we're going to make that possible to be changed. But for the time being, this is where the hogs are going to go. And so where we pick up is we will be pulling fence along here. Then we'll start putting the hog panels in, more T-posts around the other part of the perimeter of this pen. We're going to put a little shelter in here for them, plus feed and water. And I've just got a couple of weeks to pull all this together. So anyway, that's it for today. We'll pick it up as we pull fence in a few days.